Hey, what's up, folks? May the Force be with us as we embrace the powers of the dark side, become Sith emo edgelords, and kill our fathers and our masters, and claim the dark side powers and become the ultimate edgelords in the universe. Fuck the Jedi, alright? Every dark sider in Star Wars has major fucking daddy issues. But hey, this is a review of the show Maul, Shadow Lord, which I fucking love. It's full of Sith, it's full of Jedi, it's full of dark side, light side, underworld, shadow government, bounty hunters, Mandalorians. It's like that old Star Wars Darth Maul TV show slash video game they were playing back in the before Disney destroyed the franchise. Yeah, Maul found his own Sith Order, trains his Twi'lek in the ways of the Sith. It's out there. I mean, Maul leads a shadow rebellion against the powers that be. It's out there, and I love the Maul projects and how so many of it's been retconned into new material for Disney. That's one of the few good things Disney has done is the Maul stuff. Darth Maul. Yeah, I mean Darth Maul. There's so many projects that have been in the works since the late 2000s. All these projects are canceled or rebranded, and I love seeing them come to life in their own way. There was a video game for a while that was playing where Darth Maul was going to train Darth Talon and have a Sith civil war with Darth Crate's Sith in Legacy comics. That would have been metal as fuck. I would have loved it. And we're seeing elements of that in the Clone Wars, the new Darth Maul Shadow Lord show where Maul creates his own criminal underworld to overthrow the Empire. There's like all this like child trauma stories of fathers and sons, masters and apprentices. It gets really dark side and edgy and really Sith, and I love it for that reason. It really goes deep into Maul's character, really expands him. And I'll say this, Disney canon has done Maul right. That's one of the few things they have done right, is really making Maul into like this amazing dark side, tragic character. But yeah, the Sith, there's a lot of Sith lore going on right now in this era of Star Wars. I love it. The Inquisitors are awesome. Incompetent as fuck, but they're cool. Maul's rebuilding a shadow empire. He's in dealing with drug running. He's running a criminal syndicate. And Maul just running his own criminal underworld, that was another idea for a Maul-related video game that got transferred over to Star Wars Clone Wars, where he led a criminal empire against Palpatine's order. And I love that so much of this has been brought back, and I thank Dave Filoni for that. Maul's Shadowhunter really delves into the Imperial era, right after Revenge of the Sith, deals with Jedi and Sith being hunted Maul and his organization and the Jedi siding with each other against a common enemy, the Empire. There's a lot of Force lore. There's a lot of Maul's backstory that I really enjoy. There's a lot of interesting world building that went into this series. It bridges a lot of media together, and I really enjoy it. Maul's organization, the Crimson Dawn, I think is what they're called. I think it's Crimson Dawn. Yeah, Crimson Dawn. They're just awesome. Maul has his own Mandalorian bounty hunters at his side. And just look, I love the Star Wars bounty hunters and the underworld, the pirates, the Hutts. This has always been one of my favorite aspects of the Star Wars franchise. And Dave Filoni is really doing justice to that with this series. And Maul is just such a tragic character. Yeah, he's fucking evil. But you know what? He didn't choose that evil. Dooku and Anakin chose the dark side. Maul never had a choice. And that's what makes him tragic. You know? Not justifying his shit, but like someone who's an emo edgelord, I just love the Sith and Dark Jedi and Underworld stuff in the series. It's really good. There's a lot of good characters, really good solid character moments, good character moments from Maul, especially Maul. It bridges a lot of like stories and media together and creates a really fun show. It's worth the watch. I'm not getting into spoilers, but it's great. I mean, Maul, you go through his trauma. He's really growing as a character. He has some really dark, fucked up moments. He's never been a hero. He will never be a hero. He is a dark side renegade Sith Lord trying to overthrow his master and his empire. And that's really cool. There's a Sith civil war going on right now. It's dark side versus dark side. And the Jedi are often given the choice. Do we side with our common enemy? Is the enemy my friend? In this case, fuck no. Rarely is the enemy my friend. For various reasons. And there's so much lore that went into the Black Sun, the Pike Syndicate, the various underworld factions. And that's something that Star Wars Disney's done right, is the various underworld factions, various crime syndicates. They've done them justice, on par with Legends. I really enjoy that. I really enjoy what Dave Filoni is building with his cinematic universe. I enjoy it. It's up there to Legends. If only one day we can retcon the sequel trilogy that never happened and it's just really bad fan fiction written by some Imperial scribe. That'd be sick. I'd love that. Fuck that sequel trilogy. Fuck Jar Jar Abrams. Fuck that guy. Bring me more Sith edgelord shit like Maul, and I'll be satisfied. Bring me a KOTOR remake following the adventures of Darth Malgus, leading the Sith Empire against the Jedi in Coruscant. That'd be fucking lit. I'd love that. I would get such a nerd hard on. But something I want to talk about with this era of Star Wars, something that Disney has done so well, is the time in between Episode 3 and Episode 4. And that was so lightly touched in Legends. There's some really good things with The Last of the Jedi, Coruscant Knights, Fallen Jedi stories, Force Unleashed, Vader training Sith apprentices, hunting down the remnants of the Jedi Order, the beginnings of the Rebellion. Legends did delve into it, and they gave some really cool, solid products and media. But dude, Disney has gone so far home that, I mean, the Jedi Survivor games, the Vader comics, they're better in canon than they were in Legends. And that's heresy for me to say, but Disney has done the Imperial era right. So right. There's some things they're definitely wrong on. I would have made it so the Inquisitors were more closer to Legends. I think the Inquisitors and the Dark Jedi and the Emperor's Assassins, Dark Side agents and Legends were better than what we got in canon. Most definitely. I mean, Starkiller, Mara Jade, Prophets of the Dark Side. There's a reason why the Imperial Dark Side cult in Legends is superior to what we've got in canon, and I will die on that hill. It's so much better writing when it comes to the dark side characters in Legends in this era. But, all in all, it's still the same thing. Not as good, but still a good version. This is such a good era. The Jedi are being hunted down. The Empire is growing and expanding. There's an entire army of dark Jedi hunting down the Jedi survivors. Jedi are a persecuted religion. They're refugees. Clone Trooper veterans. Rebels. It's such a good dark era of Star Wars with Inquisitor storylines, Jedi Survivors, the Tales of the Empire series. I really enjoy the Tales of the Jedi Order. There's even stories involving Ventress taking on a Jedi Padawan. It's a really good era, and Disney has done it really, really well. And created some really cool stories and like story arcs. And game creatures I really enjoy. The Inquisitors, Jedi Survivors like Cal Kestis. And they just create massive open worlds where you explore the galaxy. I want to say this: this era of Star Wars is exactly the way that Obi-Wan Kenobi described in Episode 4. Dark times, loss of joy, loss of freedom. Everyone's living under an oppressive, evil galactic dominion, dictatorship. What is left of the Republic has been twisted and destroyed and reformed into the Empire. Even the Jedi, a lot of them were tormented and tortured and becoming Sith acolytes. Vader went from Anakin Skywalker and transformed into Vader, and he's dealing with his residual remnants of his soul, the cost of his actions. Clone Wars didn't bring peace, it brought nothing but trauma and death and suffering to the galaxy. No hope. No hope, and that's what the rebellion is meant to represent. That's what the Jedi survivors are meant to represent. Hope. Hope is fleeting. The Empire hunts down all religions that speak of the Force because they offer something the Empire can't provide: hope and transcendent and spirituality. And Palpatine is spreading his new order across the stars. Is creating an empire that is run on hatred, ambition, and just militarism. It's a complete opposite of what he promised in the Republic. It's a totalitarian regime, and you see veterans of the Clone Wars making hard choices about forming the new rebellion. how to fight the Empire, what are ways to fight the Empire, what are the moral ways to fight against a regime that blows up entire planets. It's a time of you lost the war. Everyone lost the war. Palpatine won. And he turned both armies into his slaves. Everything was always his vision, and trillions suffer because of his manipulations and his vision. Entire bloodlines and families and communities and species are wiped out, and brother versus brother writing. It's really good. And Legends did that really well too. And I'm really impressed with the job Dave Filoni's done about retconning this era of Star Wars. The fall of democracy and the rise of a dictatorship. The transformation of individuals, good people, into slaves of fascism. I really enjoy that. It's really good writing. And what you do as a Jedi survivor in this era of Star Wars, and the various paths that Jedi survivors have walked, some walked away, some became dedicated to their religion and just lived in isolation and hermitage. Others fought the Empire, and they fought for hope. It was a hard time to be a Jedi in this period in the galaxy. And all the stories you hear and you see, both in Legends and canon, about what the Jedi did once the Republic fell, it's just really good writing. It has really good stories. I really recommend both Legends and Disney canon. When it comes to this period, I think Disney's made better shows and better. And then we get into Star Wars Underworld, which I think would have stayed Star Wars from the beginning. This was making a Star Wars Underworld TV series set for the Imperial era that allowed ideas and concepts or just retconned into The Mandalorian and other TV shows that Disney has made. But it would have had a budget of Game of Thrones and would have been an adult Star Wars show revolving around Boba Fett becoming a Mandalorian man, getting his Mandalorian bar mitzvah. Hell fucking yeah. It would have been a short Star Wars, like criminal syndicate TV show taking place in Coruscant. And I would have fucking loved that. I would have fucking loved that. I mean, okay, Boba Fett fucking a Twi'lek Sith assassin. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? Look, I'm just saying, some adult entertainment Star Wars romance scenes would have been kinky, would have been fun. If Game of Thrones can get away with it, Star Wars would have made so much fucking money. I shit you not. Okay. Darth Talon Lucas would have so much money that he invested in building a theme park, and then he dies 5 years later. Oh, what could have been? What could have been? Gating. Gating. But no, back to the seriousness of this. The Genesis games are really good Star adventure games. They're some of the best Star Wars games I've ever played. They're up there with Sparta. These guys are playing as a Jedi exploring the galaxy, fighting the dark side, mastering the Force. All these ancient civilizations, all this world building and adventure in the galaxy, fighting the evil empire. Probably my first Star Wars games of all time. It's definitely the best thing Disney ever made. It was a Star Wars game, which isn't a very high bar. I apologize, but still, it's not a very high bar. It's bounty hunters exploring different planets. It's full of aliens, Imperials, Stormtroopers, Dark Jedi, Sith, local Force powers. It's everything I wanted from a Legends game. It's what Force Unleashed could have been. Because, hot take, Force Unleashed is age. They're, they're, that's what they're trying to do. Just saying. One sec. So I just want to say, Star Wars is Disney Star Wars is complicated. Yeah, there's the Abomination, the sequel trilogy, but then you get the goal of the Imperial era and the New Republic era, which Dave Filoni is responsible for this, and he works with Legends authors. He was he worked with all the Legends content creators. The guy respects Swoder. He likes Kotar, Swoder, grew up with all Legends, and I think he's going to do a really good job in the position he's now in. Maybe someday we can live in a world the sequel trilogy is really bad fan fiction written by some imperial scribe. Till that day comes, I'm gonna keep enjoying the parts of the Disney saga that are good, and cherry pick my timeline and my canon. It's not like we never did that with Legends. It's not like we never did that with Legends. We will cherry pick the parts of our franchise that we like to. So I will say the Jedi Fallen Order series is amazing. Get it? It's great. It's mostly free. It's not expensive. It's a great game. Get into it, whether it be physical copy or online. But no, I really recommend these games. They're Star Wars done right. They're some of the best Star Wars games I've ever played, story wise and adventure wise. You're playing as a Jedi survivor, rebuilding the Order in the midst of a galactic dark side purge of your religion, and you're a hunted minority. There's a lot of fascism, space fascism on display. There's a lot of good mythology, good Star Wars mythology going around here with this one. It captured Lucas's obsession with mythology and political drama and Greek tragedy. The Imperial era is not one of hope like the New Republic era. It's not a time of rebuilding. It's not a time of exploration like the post, like it was in Legends. It's a galactic dictatorship, and all hope. And hope is a very hard thing to find. The Imperial era is as grim dark as Star Wars gets outside of the Yusun Vong. And it really shows. And there's a lot of tragedy. There's a lot of, like, in the characters, story arcs, storylines, both in Legends and canon. I really recommend Star Wars Disney for that. I really recommend both Legends and Disney's version of the Dark Times. There's some really good comics worth reading. Darth Vader comics, Imperial politics, Sith, Dark Jedi. A lot of Vader stories, a lot of good Vader stories happen in this era of Star Wars that are really worth it. I really recommend it. I really do. But in closing, I guess I want to say Star Wars is not completely dead, and there's still some hope for the franchise. And then maybe that's what this era is symbolic for the real world too. This is a dark time where we're filled with tyranny, dictatorships of thought, both in the left and the right, and we need hope. I mean, not just for our daily life, but also for our favorite sci-fi franchise. Um, maybe Dave Filoni is the hope that Star Wars gets back to its core. Maybe with him, we can truly make a Star Wars multiverse where everyone is respected and all sides of the franchise and the fan base are heard, and maybe more voices like the old school Legends fan base, or the maybe we can rebuild our communities. Maybe we can rebuild our trust with Lucasfilm. Maybe we can start making games that aren't shit piles and canceling a shit ton of projects. Maybe they finally will start to listen to fans. Maybe we can finally get a new Swoder. Who knows? That's where we end it for today, folks. And just like in the Star Wars, light will always prevail. There's always hope. That's what the Jedi and the Force and the Rebellion are meant to represent hope. Even in dark times when tyranny is rising across the universe, hope remains. That there's a higher power guiding us, and all we have to do is tap into it and choose the path of love and kindness over the path of hatred and anger. And that's what separates the Jedi from the Sith. And that is what Star Wars Dark Times is really, really all about. Well, until next time, folks, stay sane. May the Force be with you. Fuck Disney. God bless. And death to the evil empire of woke capitalism. Peace out, folks.